What we'd like to know is, how did you get involved in property investing?
Well, that started with me. I was a housewife at home with 2 little girls, and somebody rang on the telephone and said that they wanted to come around and show us a plan. And at that stage, I would talk to anybody because I was a bit lonely. Shane came home from work, and I said, "We've got these people coming around tonight." And he said, "Oh, no."
Not again.
Yeah. And he said, "I don't want to talk to them, I don't want to talk to them." I said, "Well, I've arranged it, and they're coming at 7:30. So I put the kids to bed and everything like this, and this guy turned up, young guy, and he showed us this plan.
No,
Yeah.
he had no idea what he was talking
That's it,
about.
yeah. He didn't have any other.
I think it was his first day.
Yeah. Shane ended up showing him the plan because he was a bit nervous and everything like that. Anyhow, we made an appointment and we went to Parramatta, which we'd never been to before. So we found our way there and we pulled up outside this building. And we're sitting in the car, and the first thing I said to Shane was, "There's a for sale sign on the building. This does not look good." And he said, don't worry. I said, "I'm just sure we go in." He said, "No, come on, we made this appointment, we're going to go." So we went in this door and up the stairs, and we met a guy there called Kuna. And he showed us a very professional outlay on this beautiful big boardroom table, and it was really impressive, and we walked away thinking this is really good. Over the years we got to know Kruna quite well. He came out to our place and we became quite friendly with him. He came out a couple of years later and said, "You need another property?" We went, "No." And we did. And this time we went into a different place in Parramatta. Didn't have a for sale sign on it, and it had a lift.
That was
So
Phillip Street,
yeah, it was Phillip Street. Yeah, we went up in the lift, and that night we met Michael Johnson, who was, to these days, I think, one of the professional people in McCarthy Group. And this time, not a big plan on the table. They actually had it up on the screen on the wall, and they went through the whole thing and everything like this, and we bought our second property. So then we had 2 properties in Noosa. We had a small house in Quakers Hill, and we decided we wanted to buy a bigger place. So we talked to Bruno and everything like this about selling our 2 properties in Noosa, and which we'd had for probably about 5 years, and they'd more or less 3 years doubled. They had doubled in price, and we thought
3 years.
Yeah. So we thought, this is a good thing. What we're going to do is buy a bigger house. We didn't have any cash. We've got a lot of assets, but no cash. So what we're going to do is we're going to sell the 2 houses in Noosa, because that was our plan, to get some money, buy this house. So we did that, and Rod helped us out with our tax and all that sort of stuff. And then we went, we didn't have any properties at that stage.
At that stage, Barbara thought, that's good. No properties, I can sleep at night.
I was very scared when we first bought these properties. Yeah. We then went on a harbour cruise. That night we met you.
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
What a great night.
That was a good night.
The memories.
We'd actually had emails from you and photos of you and everything on the emails, and yeah. So we had to actually talk to you before, and we went on that. And Stephen actually came up the top of the boat that night, or cruise ship, and he said that he had, something to show us tonight. And I said, we're not doing anything, but we're interested, to be here, sort of thing, like that. And then we had the cruise, and the guys came from Cairns and talked all about Cairns and everything like that, and how it was going to develop and all that sort of stuff. And I had said to Shane all night, we are not doing anything.
Yes.
And after they had talked about Cairns and their big promotion thing up there and everything like this, I remember turning around to Shane and saying, you better, they had this competition thing, to go up the back and sign up.
That's the one.
And the first 7 people up there.
It was the 7th birthday.
It was. I said to Shane, you better run. So he ran up the back up there. And we signed up for a property in Cairns, which has now been built and been rented out. We actually had a trip up there in October last year, and we have referred quite a few people to Mark, people down in Melbourne, people here we have here with us tonight, and Shane's sister in Wagga, who their house has just finished in Cairns as well, so we had a look at that. We had a nice drive around the area. It's a beautiful place up there.
And there you are.
Here we are now. Yeah.
So let me just summarise all that.
Are you reading notes here? Or?
No, I don't read any.
No.
You started off with a couple.
Yep.
They grew in value. You took the proceeds of the sale of those things, fixed up your own home in Craggers Hill, started again in Cairns, and that's worked nicely. You thought it was such a wonderful thing. You invited some other people across here and some other people across here.
Yeah.
Say, hey, why don't you do the same thing?
Yep, we did.
Is that a good idea? Good idea. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Shane. Okay, little question for you. What was the hardest part?
I think the hardest part was believing that we could do it.
Just the start.
Yeah.
Getting started.
Getting in
Who
started.
thought the same thing? Who thought the hardest thing was just getting started? When you did the third one, how hard was that?
Easy.
You were drunk at the time.
Well, that's true, but, you know.
So,
Well, you know what to expect, you know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's not so much
what would
of a
you be
mystery
your what would be your brand tip if you met someone on the way down at the blackjack table this evening and they said, I'm thinking about investing in property? What would you say to those guys?
Well, first of all, I had my cap on.
Yes, you have your cap on. Yes,
Yeah.
Stop thinking, just do it.
Just do it.
just do it.
Yeah.
Look, I can't thank you enough. Everyone, let's put our hands together for Shane and Barbara Longmore. Thank you very much. Thanks again. Appreciate that.